I get a lot of comments on my YouTube channel. Some are welcome, insightful, or inquisitive replies that I am more than happy to respond to. Others, on the other hand, appear to be inaccurate dichotomous statements surrounding what often appears to be half-baked replies that quickly becomes obvious that they have never read the Urantia Book. One of these clues I regularly receive is the erroneous presumption that Adam and Eve were the first human beings on the planet, likely referring to the Genesis portion of the Holy Bible and not the Urantia Book. In Genesis, we learn of the first man ever created, named Adam, with Eve being created afterwards by Adam's rib, with God's intention for Eve to be a helper and companion to Adam, with the two eventually defaulting by eating the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, get themselves kicked out of paradise for the offense, and of course, the horrible curse their descendants receive as a result, where man has to toil the earth and women having to experience the pain of childbirth. However, new scientific research is now indicating that we have been on this planet much, much longer than that, and most certainly didn't just spring out of the ground. In fact, science now indicates that early hominins first appeared on this planet 6 million years ago. According to the Urantia Book, the first real early human beings emerged roughly 993,510 years ago. If we were to compensate for the 91 years from 1934, found in 62.5.1. These early humans existed way before the arrival of our material sons, Adam and Eve, who made their appearance more recently around 37,939 years ago, which is again adjusted for the year when this video was produced, located in 74.0.1. So what exactly occurred during the 955,571 year gap? Well, of course, the short answer is a lot, with one of the most important milestones, a pair of twins that not only were the first to receive the spirit of worship, a Judith mind spirit, but were also the first to receive their thought adjusters, which assisted in ensuring eternal life for the two. These twins signify our official, more modern evolutionary parents, representative of actual human beings, similar to what we see today. Andon and Fonta were twins born into a tribe of primitive lemur primate, which existed during the Third Ice Age. However, this statement will falsely encourage you to believe that the emergence of our human progenitors was a simple, slow, and natural evolutionary period, directly tying us to primate evolution. 62.3.12 indicates,
and so it may be readily seen that man and the ape are related, only in that they sprang from the mid-mammals, a tribe in which occurred the contemporaneous birth and subsequent segregation of two pairs of twins. The inferior pair destined to produce the modern types of monkey, baboon, chimpanzee, and gorilla. The superior pair destined to continue the line of ascent which evolved into man himself.
In reality, much of our spontaneous historical evolution stemmed from other otherworldly factors that were not representative of slow evolutionary milestones. As an example, much like our mid-mammal separation, Andon and Fonta represented another new lineage of species that appeared to spring out of nowhere. They suddenly appeared being starkly more sophisticated and advanced than their parents, with fully functioning thumbs, far less hair, shorter arms, longer legs, and a larger body type, found in 62.3.2. For those of you that are curious, please keep in mind that these sudden appearances you'll see in the Urantia Book are likely evidence of divine and sudden intervention, whose influence is purposely kept ambiguous in the Urantia Book and not correlated in any way with the life carriers. Another great example of this phenomenon can be seen by the 6 colored races that suddenly emerged 500,000 years ago in 64.5.1, such as the red man. Yes, the title most certainly sounds familiar, right? Red man and Native American are synonymous. These twins were remarkably different from their ancestors, possessing superior intelligence and reasoning abilities. Their names, Andon and Fonta, were given to them upon their fusion with their thought adjusters. But during their mortal lives, they were known as Sonta An which is love by mother, and Santa N, which is love by father. These names reflected their deep mutual affection, which was also showcased by their mother, who died defending them from an invading tribe and allowing them time to escape. Andon demonstrated ingenuity by fastening a sharp piece of flint to her club, which he used for protection. This early tool-making ability set him apart from his peers. The twins also developed an improved language of signs and words, which helped them communicate more effectively. One of the most defining moments in their lives was their decision to flee their primate's tribe, due in part to the indirect encouragement of the life carriers and the adjutant mind spirits, of which had redirected them down a new and exciting path. This act demonstrated a higher level of reasoning, self-awareness, evolutionary self-preservation, and attunement with their adjutant mind spirits. Unlike many of their descendants who later interbred with their primitive cousins, Andon and Fonta felt a vague but powerful sense of being more than just a mere animal. This was due to their possession of personality and their later indwelling presence of thought adjusters, which are divine fragments of the Universal Father. Andon and Fonta had 19 children and almost 500 grandchildren. That's a lot. And their lineage became known as the Andonites. Fun fact, the Eskimos are considered the last more direct surviving descendants of such a race. Their children inherited their intelligence and survival instincts, ensuring the continuation of the human species. In addition to their accomplishments, Andon is credited with discovering fire, which was a monumental achievement that allowed early humans to cook food, stay warm, and protect themselves from predators. No, this most certainly was not a gift from Prometheus, but was another sign of evolving species that followed the lead of their adjutant mind spirits. For those that are rusty on who the seven are, they are as follows, found in 36.5.6 to 12, which include the spirit of intuition, understanding, courage, knowledge, counsel, worship, and of course, wisdom. The discovery marked a turning point in human evolution. Both twins lived until the age of 42, when they tragically perished in a rock slide during an earthquake. However, their spiritual journey did not end there. They achieved eternal survival and now reside in Jerusalem, the system capital, where they welcome pilgrims from Urantia as ascenders begin their long and exciting journey inward to the eternal Isle of Paradise. When it comes to Adam and Eve, which is vaguely similar to some Sumerian accounts of outside evolutionary interbreeding, one of the many purposes for their much later arrival on our planet had more to do with uplifting the human species with their own DNA to constitute the seventh violet race, through the direct intervention of our once material sons. These entities were direct children of Jesus Christ Michael that were the closest to us, having both spiritual and material endowments, such as the ability to procreate and the potentiality to live forever. They accomplished this through consuming cosmic energies that stemmed from a tree of life that would only work on them and the corporeal staff of Caligostia, our once fallen planetary prince, who is most associated with the devil. Their energy would radiate from their skin that would force it to glow, and due to everything but their heads being covered, would emit a light from the tops of their heads, which is where the halo designation originated from. If they had not defaulted, Adam and Eve would still be functioning as almost prime ministers for our planet, with a unique ability to detect and communicate with our planetary prince. Their default had nothing to do with forbidden fruit, and had everything to do with bypassing and artificially expediting the human upliftment of our species through unsanctioned breeding of Eve with Cain, which of course was Cain's real father. All right, well, thank you again for watching today's video, and I'll see you on the next one.